Your strategy does not work, but it's not for the reasons that you think. Most traders will have a strategy. It doesn't work. They will try a new strategy that doesn't work, and they will try a new one that doesn't work, and they will remain in this loop. However, the smart retail traders don't do this. They will have a strategy that doesn't work, and they will go and backtest it, and it still doesn't work. So let's talk about this and how to fix this problem. One of the main issues is the regime mismatch. So a strategy that is designed for one regime, it's forced into all types of regimes. So it could be geopolitics, it could be crises like COVID or war. And most retail strategies are not built to handle these types of regimes. They are built for very sort of quote unquote typical or normal market conditions. And over the past couple of years, we've had lots of these types of markets. Capital fragility is another big one. Good strategies die because the capital structure cannot survive variance. We're going to go over all the points I'm mentioning here in more depth shortly. We have emotional interference. So when you are emotional, you are changing your strategy and it's no longer what you initially tested and intended to trade. And then of course we have not enough sample data. A lot of traders will judge a strategy before it even exists on a statistical level. They will see something like this and have a positive return by just looking at the charts and marking up some buy and sell orders. And regardless of the result, that will be how they judge the strategy, the model, and the framework. But all of these things are what lead to a strategy collapsing, because a strategy needs stability in order for it to exist. There is no edge problem because you haven't even discovered an edge yet. You haven't allowed any potential edge to play out before you are making assumptions and judging. So if we compare this to how professionals operate, they are designing strategies that are made to survive. They have capital buffers, they have a regime filter, they have execution rules, they have emotional constraints. And these are the people that are built to survive the financial markets regardless of the conditions. So then the big question is, how do you get there? You need to give your strategy permission to exist before you start trading it. So you need to test across stress. So this will be things like COVID, the financial crisis, rate hiking regimes, rate cutting regimes. You cannot just go back in the past 3 years and attempt to backtest that and decide whether your strategy works or not. Because over the past 3 years isn't enough to show you all of the possible market cycles, conditions, regimes, and situations that you could find yourself in. A strategy that cannot survive panic and market shifts is doomed from the start. It's like the old saying goes, everyone is a genius in a bull market, but in a bear market, what happens? Well, lots of people blow up and they take severe losses. Your strategy needs to be able to adapt to this very quickly and trade it not just in these super cycles or these perfect markets. You also need to collect enough data for it to matter. So hundreds of tests, not just a few dozen. So what you will often see is retail traders, again, will go back over the past 3 years and just test that market condition, and that's not enough. But as well as that, they will only take a handful of trades. So over 3 years, they might have 20 trades throughout the year, which isn't realistic. So even if they end up with a full back test over those 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is, the strategy is still not working, but the data is essentially just lying to you. And whilst you're in this testing phase, you need to be hands off. You need to have your list of rules. You need to have exactly what you do in every situation. And you need to execute it perfectly as if you would in real market conditions. Overfitting and making backtests perfect is very, very easy to do. It's very easy to be in a trade that hits stop loss and then you say, oh, I actually wouldn't have taken that on a real trade. Or that was a bit impulsive, or I shouldn't have done this, or I wouldn't actually do that, or I would have taken that trade. And this is what's breaking your backtest, because you are changing the rules mid-sample. So it all becomes invalid. If you are going to change something, you need to start a new test. You cannot mix it into the initial one or a different one. Another one is the capital to survive. Lots of people think that trading is a get out of poverty pass. It's not. If anything, it's the opposite. If you are trading without money, it's only going to cost you more and more money. It's a way for wealthy people to deploy and compound a surplus of capital. So although yes, the barrier for entry is very low, you can deposit $50, get 1 to 500 leverage and start trading, this isn't the way to do it. You should be investing in education, you should be investing in services to give you data, and you should have enough money to take trading seriously. If you're trading with just $50, how seriously are you really going to take that? My assumption is not very. So the likelihood of you blowing this is very, very high. Whereas if you just saved some money, let's say $5,000, you could invest in your education, you could invest in services, you can invest in whatever it is you need to succeed, use the leftover to deposit into your trading account, and then continuously deposit through your work or whatever it is that's paying your bills. And you need to be able to scale up when your strategy does prove itself in live markets. It's fine to start a strategy strategy out with $500 to give it a bit of time to work and show you that it does really work in live markets. But as soon as it does that, you need to be able to scale it as much as possible to really make your money. And this is another reason a lot of retail traders blow up. They will have that $500 and they might be making money, but it's such low amounts of money and they get frustrated that they end up increasing their risk way more than they should because they're impatient and greedy, and also cash poor. And as they increase their risk, their emotions increase as well, and their mistakes increase on the back of that. And the last main thing is confidence from expectancy. Now, I'm not a technical trader, so I don't apply to this one-to-one. However, when you do a backtest and you have your full sheet of data, you will know what your expectancy is. You will know your win rate. You will know the max drawdown that you had and the max losing streak. All of this information gives you confidence in your positions. The equivalent of that for me is having a very robust, detailed trade thesis on an economic level. And this is how I end up with trades that look like this. That's why I can enter with a reasonable stop loss with my 2% risk standard and end up with these really profitable runners. Because when you know your probabilities, you know the risk, you know the stats and the data, your emotions lose their leverage. If you notice, a lot of the people that complain about having these psychological problems in trading, these roadblocks, they're all the ones that either have no money, no framework, or just absolutely no idea what they're doing. It's the same with anything. You know, I could put you in an operating room with someone that's bleeding out. If you don't know what you're doing, you are going to panic. Same thing with a lawyer. If you're in a courtroom, you are going to panic if you don't know what you're doing. The same thing if you were driving. It's just like anything else. But for some reason, retail traders have convinced themselves that the emotions and the psychology of trading is something that they need to get over or they need to work on. It's not. If you work on the strategy first and get your data and get your stats, the emotions disappear. And this is how your strategy can exist. I've been trading for 8 years. I've spoken at universities. I have taught thousands of traders. I am funded with Topstep. My members are continuously getting funded on almost a weekly basis. I've taught people how to run and manage portfolios on a serious professional level. This is one of our members, David, who is up 160% last year. And another one here, over a 200% gain with a really smooth equity curve. This is what I do. So to share my knowledge even more, I've opened a mentorship. I share my full technical strategy. I teach you how to understand and forecast economic data, how to run a portfolio and manage your risk, how to plan and build and construct trades, psychology, and so much more. It's a full mentorship. We have one-to-one meetings and reviews, webinars, real-time breakdowns and applications, real-time unlimited one-to-one private chat with me. It's not linear. It's a fully dynamic learning experience from tests, quizzes, our one-to-one calls, assignments. I can give you personal growth and action plans. In this way, the learning experience that you have is tailored to you. This isn't just a course where you read through or watch through and that's it. I work with you one-to-one to build what works for you personally. So as you can see, we have modules here. You can book the calls. You even get a professionally built Notion template completely for free when you join. And this is to journal your trades, take notes, and use it as a second brain throughout the whole of this mentorship. Now, because this is a one-to-one mentorship and it's private, I only take one person every month because I just don't have the time to work with more people consistently and give them the value that they deserve. It's currently the 3rd of February and we do have a spot open. So if you are interested in mentorship, please send your application. The only risk is the time you waste in the markets not making progress.